What is up, guys? Mixed Martial Idiots podcast. Coach Will, MMA superfan George Novo, and brown belt Tanner Dunphy snuck out and went on vacation on us. So he's on his phone in Florida. We got all the hype and all the heartbreak of UFC 317 last night. We don't have a UFC event next week, so we won't have a preview for that. But let's get right into this recap, and we'll all cry together.
We'll cry and I'll say, I told you so. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Starting off, there was some fun sprinkled throughout the night, and then some snoozes as well.
It was a great card,
But
honestly.
there was a lot of good. The good was so good that it completely shut down the snooze fests. And by good, I don't mean like feel good, but like as an MMA fan, god damn, that was
Yeah.
beautiful, we'll get into some of
Yes.
that later. Um, Starting off our first fight, we had a heavyweight bout where Renata Denise defeated Alvin Hines via unanimous decision. What do you got on that one, Will?
Dude, Alvin Hines, he looked like hot dog shit on the feet, but he gained a straight up fan because he was in there the entire time. His gas tank was actually better than Jonathan Denise, who had good striking until the third round when he was completely gassed. But Alvin Hines stayed on the front foot. He kept doing what he was doing. He got busted up after the fight. He looks at DC. He says, "Did he even hit me once, DC?" And it's just raining blood down. So, yeah, Alvin Hines has a lot of work to do in the boxing department, but I think he's going to be fine. He's tough. He stayed right in there. Jonathan Denise needs to take these guys fucking serious because if you're going to get tired in the next level of heavyweights, you're going to get beat down, man. You can't run into like a Augusto Sakai with that kind of gas tank and you're going to get murdered. Like a Marcin Tibura is going to beat you up real bad, man. So
We
you got
got
to address
hybrid
that gas
heavyweights
tank.
now.
Yeah, they're good. They have gas tanks. So Tom Aspinall, the leader of the pack, has a gas tank that is incredible. So that's what you
It's
guys
a
are
new
chasing. You
world.
can't be getting tired. You can't be getting tired in the third round now, guys. It's too late for that shit. The Tank Abbotts of the world don't play in the UFC anymore.
Yeah, you can't be the baddest man at the barbecue and walk in anymore. It just doesn't work. George, what do you got on that first fight?
Oh man, Denise coming off a loss to a Marcin Tepora faced Alvin Hines, who actually stepped in for Justin Tafo. So had that match been made, that would have been fireworks guaranteed. This one tried. This one really tried to promise it, and the only thing that kept it from that was Hines' chin. That dude wore this fight on his face. But I mean, I was here for it. That is a dog. You teach a guy that can take punishment like that and give him some technique and a little bit of moving his head off the center line, and I'm telling you, dude, that's I wouldn't want to
For
fight
sure.
that
He
man.
socked Denise a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the like three or four times he caught him, he really got to him.
Yeah.
Denise's technical striking and movement gave him the edge, but it almost felt like he kind of took this fight like he was sparring. It seemed like it felt like that guy throws
Cruise
combos
control.
but doesn't have the
Yeah.
experience yet in an actual fight situation. That's what it seemed like to me, because he seemed like when he went back to the corner, he's like, he's not going down. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you have to keep hitting him, dude. He's
Yeah,
there. Good
Bro,
fight though.
Justin
That
Taffa would have ate that boy's lunch.
Yeah. But that was a great opener, man. That got the crowd buzzing.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
next up at welterweight, Jacoby Smith subbing Nico Price in round two with a rear naked choke. Shaking your head already about it. I know Nico upset
Dude,
you. Disappointed, aren't you?
well,
What you got on it?
no, well, I knew Jacoby Smith like could beat him. Okay, he Oak State wrestler, tremendous striker. He's got bazookas in his hands. He did what he should have done. I thought Nico was going to play, after the end of the first round, I thought Nico was going to get that rope-a-dope old man welcome to the big leagues moment. And Jacoby just wasn't going to let that happen. You got DC fanboying him as he gets in the cage. I just knew that parlay with Nico wasn't going to land, bro. Jacoby showed up and did what he had to do. But there you go. It's he succeeded where Denise failed, right? He kept pushing and found a victory, but he was getting tired too, man. The big lights of the UFC and fighting a durable person who's there to take you out, it gasses you fast. You got to be on. And I think he'll be fine in his next fight, but I think it was the perfect test to put a tank like Nico Price in front of him. Tough watch for Nico.
Yes.
We all love Nico. We all love Nico, man, but good showing for Jacoby.
Yeah. What do you got, George?
Oh man, Smith is a rising prospect, man. He took on the vet Nico in a classic striker versus grappler matchup, man. Price came out aggressive, looking for his signature wild strikes, but Smith weathered the storm, secured a takedown in round 2, and locked in that rear naked choke. Price's experience couldn't overcome Smith's relentless grappling and youth, marking a statement win for this young welterweight. Next fight for this guy, what do you guys think?
For Jacoby?
Yes.
There are some young welterweights out there right now. The welterweight, what do you think, Tanner? I got welterweight and middleweight, surprisingly, with the numbers and the depth of talented prospects. So this kid could get anyone and be in trouble.
Welterweight's loaded, dude.
Loaded.
I mean, nowadays, I feel like you can say that about almost every single division.
Except heavyweight after the 10.
And some of the women's divisions are starting to get there even. If you look back 10 years ago, it was like, okay, you're 155, you're welterweight, and then you're 135, right?
Yeah,
that's fair. And then now, I mean, you look at every single division. It's like, oh no, he's a problem. He's a problem. He's a problem. He's a problem.
yeah.
We're finally at that point where everybody in the divisions can get it and can dish it out.
Yeah,
right?
we're still a super young sport compared to like the NFL, the NBA, MLB. I mean, the UFC is in its like young adult years. Like I think it was just 30 years, right? It's as old as we are.
It's as old as I am. It started in 93. Yeah. I was born in 93.
So it's still learning and growing. And I think Dana and Sean Shelby and Hunter Campbell with the Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter, looking for a fight, these jiu-jitsu shows they're doing now, I really think that they're doing it right. And there's a reason that all these other companies are kind of going by the wayside, because they're just kind of getting the scraps of what Dana leaves behind. We see what happens when they come over here.
The only thing I have to say about the grappling is that belt is fucking hideous.
Oh,
why did they do that? Why did they let them do that?
I like that belt. I want that belt. That's a nice belt. All right, moving on. At lightweight, my boy, T-Rex, Terrence McKinney, getting it done, getting the slub, the gilly, on Slava Claus in round 1. What do you got, Will?
I know you got him with the motherfucker.
You're poor heart for this whole card, dog.
I know, dude.
George was right there. Were you crying in the corner at the end of the card? Yeah, you were. You were.
Oh, I was down bad. I was down bad.
Shit tanked.
I was working on it. Ask George. We were hitting up revenge like we were trying to check out.
Yeah.
But no, man.
So we're mini fans.
What made it worse is not only that, my great white hope for us ginger strikers, Vyacheslav Borshov, got fucking murdered. He did it with the Jordan Kreider Darce Gilly series, bro. The same one that as a one-stripe white belt, I would not want to walk into the gym for, because I knew I was going to get hit with that bullshit like 100 times for a class. And then fucking Slava Claus goes in there. Terrence McKinney looked like a more tan Jordan Kreider and just took his fucking life from him. Was it beautiful? Yeah, it was beautiful, but I felt that poor guy's pain, man. And my parlays did too. Good job, Terrence McKinney. Fuck you, though.
Right. That's great. What do you got, George? I did well on this card, by the way.
Nice.
McKinney wasted no time, man. Just blitzing with pressure and getting that takedown. Locked that choke in and forced the quick tap. This was vintage McKinney, explosive and relentless, while Borshev striking never even got a chance to get going. This is a lightning fast finish that set the tone for the prelims, man.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely. Next up, women's flyweight. Tracy Cortez defeats Vivian Araujo via unanimous decision. What do you got on that one, Will?
I feel like Viviana wanted to prove a point and it got her screwed. She couldn't out wrestle Tracy, and her jiu-jitsu was one step behind Tracy the entire time. Viviana had the advantage in the striking. She was landing, and in the beginning of the fight, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to run away with this one. Nope, Tracy Cortez turned on the wrestling and just kind of ran away with it, man. Good fight for Tracy, and she's been out for a long time, so.
Saw that happen later, too.
Good. What's that?
Said we saw that happen later. The wrestling get turned on.
Yeah. So she kind of just put it on, right? And Viviana was lost. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's not if you go to just your striking class and you're like the best striker in the class, cool. You go to your jiu-jitsu class and you can like start from guard and you're a really good jiu-jitsu player, one of the better jiu-jitsu people in your class. Cool. It's not just that, guys. MMA, you have to mix the martial arts, right? And Tracy did a better job mixing them all together, grappling on the fence, winning in the positions on the ground, because it's not just about strikes landed. You know, you got to actually have height, build up, shoulder pins, and that's what Tracy did. She just put on a good performance from someone who needed a good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're 100% correct in what you say there. It's mixed martial arts. You got to get every aspect correct if you're going to do this at the highest level. Period.
Right.
No
That's what we
question.
saw. And shout out to a guy who's fighting for his life right now. I'm going to touch on some stuff about him at the end if we can. Ben Askren. When we saw Ben Askren in his prime in MMA, yes, he was like whooping ass with the wrestling, but like you guys don't understand the boxing to get in there. No, he didn't have great hands. He flustered you on the way in, and he started the mixed martial arts game. That's what people need to do. Like, you could take anything from a guy like Ben Askren or like a Neil Magny's really good at it. It's the in-between parts that these people that have like significant advantages and skill sets like Viviana, that's what they need.
Yeah, absolutely. George, what do you got on the Tracy Cortez, Viviana Araujo?
I joked earlier that, every time that a woman like her fights, the cameraman understands the assignment. He did again. I was laughing because I looked at Will and I said, I told you. My buddy actually texted me before this fight went off and said rehydration is a beautiful thing, and I laughed. I got really weak. Cortez showcased her wrestling pedigree, man, stifling Araujo's striking with consistent takedowns and top control. Vivian had moments on her feet, but Cortez's game plan was airtight, man. She got a clean sweep on the scorecards. This win solidifies Cortez as a contender in 125. She is gonna get fights, but as she climbs this ladder, if you have any deficiencies, the top rungs get further apart. They get made of worse material. They're a little bit harder to grip on. You go from a nice fiberglass extension ladder to a welder, put some rebar on there. Yeah, there's a rock hold in there. Get your foot on that one. You can get up to number 2. I don't know. I think that she needs to hit the gym and round out her game a little bit more if she's really going to be considered a threat to the top 3. But still, great fight from her. I'm not mad at it. Executed the game plan to perfection.
Yeah. Next up, a featherweight bout, and what I would say is the upset of the night. I know you guys disagree, but whatever, you're wrong. Jose Delgado knocking out Hyder Emil in round one with a knee and then an elbow. What do you got on this one, Will?
Yeah, I picked Hyder Emil. I thought he was going to be able to grind it out. I thought he was going to be able to slow down Delgado, and that was not the case. The first exchange that Hyder Emil won was the beginning of his downfall because it pissed off Delgado, and he just went in and ended it. Delgado, guys, that knee, normally you're pretty good, right? As a fan and a martial artist from a distance to kind of pick out what they're going to do. I had no clue that knee was coming, man. He covered it up beautifully, and neither did Hyder. He ate that whole thing. In true Hyder Emil fashion, he gets slept, got up, started arguing with the ref. Like, this is how I fight. I get beat up a lot. Like, no, Hyder, we're done here. So, yeah, Jose Delgado, man, look out for that kid. That was crazy.
Man, right now, you guys just blinked. You missed this fight. Delgado caught him with a devastating knee in the clinch, man. 20 seconds into the fight, 26 seconds, excuse me, followed by a flurry of punches to seal the deal. This was a brutal knockout that sent a message. Delgado is a dangerous featherweight to watch. Emil's hype train definitely took a hit, but just like Arnold, man, he'll be back. Can't hate on that guy. I mean, how do you prepare for that? Sometimes somebody just executes a strike and it's beautiful and it's perfect. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. You could train all you want for defensive striking. You could train this whole time. I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get it to the ground and he's not going to touch me. Yeah. And then that happens. Good fight. And speaking of people and that happens, good God.
You're right, man. Our featured bout of the three of them is holy shit, a middleweight bout where RoboCop just decided he was going to murder Jack Hermanson in round one. And he did just that. He won by KO. Man, Gregory Rodriguez. Fuck, dude. That guy's a problem. What do you think, Will?
Dude, I was in the middle of telling George how Jack's footwork was great. I was like, Jack's footwork is looking phenomenal. And smoke, Greg caught him.
Wham!
Dude, was it not, though? He was looking great. And it looked like Gregory Rodriguez was like, okay, when he shuffles back this way, I'm just going to put one out there to make him respect it. And Jack ran right into that whole motherfucker, dude. How is RoboCop a middleweight? What the fuck is that thing? Jack looked big, too, but God, RoboCop's so big, dude. Jack was looking great until he wasn't. That was a scary knockout.
Yep.
The hammer fist at the end was not needed. I know somebody's going to say super necessary to be funny.
Extra credit.
Yeah, no, that Jack forgot the fifth. He lost the fifth grade, guys. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think it was good timing and good timing and frustration got RoboCop that knockout. Jack, tough one, bro. You were looking so good.
You know what he did? RoboCop hit him so hard, his memories started to turn to ash, like in the Avengers when Thanos snapped.
I know, man. They were coming out of his ears.
Oh, God.
Bro, Rodriguez, the helmet came down, and he scanned. He scanned Jack, and he was like, right there, that chin, that's sus. That was his prime directive, was to eliminate that.
Oh.
It was like he was like an OCP executive, and all of a sudden they hacked it and took that little fourth one out. And he was like, "Oh yeah, got you now."
What did I say last week, guys?
Damn, boy, that was rough.
I want no part of that. That man.
Oh, fuck that.
100% F that. And what are you going to do? Wrestle him? No, you're not.
No. I'm going to shake his hand and say, sir, can you please leave me alone? Please?
Yeah. I'm not in your weight class.
I want to be like that homeboy that got leg kicked by Pat Barry. I'm air tapping. As soon as they...
Okay, so let's get to the main card here. Starting off at bantamweight, we had Peyton Talbot defeating Felipe Lima via unanimous decision. It was nice to see Peyton Talbot back in the win column. What do you got, Will?
Man, Felipe Lima should have trusted his striking. He was doing way better in striking because Payne Talbot must have just done his whole camp in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Felipe came out of All-Stars
Smart if he
Gym,
did.
the same gym that Hamzat Chimaev trains out of. He started off doing well, and every time he actually committed to his striking, he did well. It was when he pushed the grappling and ended up in bottom half guard underneath Talbot when he started to just get his gas tank sapped and he started to get beat on. So, yeah, for that kid, you just got to trust your striking more. I know in the corner in between rounds 1 and 2, he said he referenced Peyton Talbot's power. He said, trust your striking a little bit more. And Felipe said his power, it's crazy. So, I mean, we've seen Peyton Talbot take dudes' souls at the first exchange. So, I mean, maybe we're back on track for that Talbot Wellmaker fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. But who knows what the UFC wants to do? I take my money if you're doing it. Take all.
Yeah, I want that.
Where's my wallet? I'll throw it at you, please.
No shit.
Make it a rain for the Wellmaker and Talbot fight. Oh man, George, what do you think about the Talbot Lima?
Man, there was some information exchanged about this fighter in between rounds, and there were a lot of jokes made and stuff. And I kind of made the joke to my buddy. I was like, yeah, that dude might not be, hetero, but that's the dude that I would never clown on. That's the dude that whatever his sexual orientation is, don't matter because he fucked me up. It don't matter what it is. He could be into pink poles and candy canes, and guess what? Don't matter. It's still fucking me up. This is why kids now, when you say the no bullying thing, this is why you don't pick on people that are different from you or something that you perceive as different because that kid grows up and this is what happens. Could you imagine being the kid that bullied Peyton Talbot if he exuded that as a kid, got bullied? Guess what I did? I went to the gym for 5 years. Look at me now. So
Yeah.
Peyton Talbot, man, keep doing what you're doing. And if you're getting this good with the ground game too, it's gonna get people where they can't even get you down, and that's a terrifying prospect. That's what I always say is whenever an elite striker gets it to where you have to play to their strengths. I mean, what do you do? That's kind of what we saw later on tonight with Taporia.
Yeah, but Taporia's got elite grappling to back his striking up as well. Moving on, lightweight. We got my boy Benny Dariush getting it done. I did not expect this, man. I thought Moicano, but I like Benio. This was a really tough fight for me. It looked like Moicano cracked Benny a couple times, and Benny said, "Fuck this, we're wrestling." So Moicano wasn't really prepared for Benny to try and smother him the whole time. What do you got on this one, Will?
I mean, you're absolutely right. This is one of the rare ones on this card that I actually got right last week. I thought Benny was going to come. He's had 2 years off to rest that dome that just kept getting rocked. He had a couple fights in a row where he got just beat on. And Beneil Dariush's ground game, he's a European ADCC champion, guys. Like, I know that some of you guys just follow us for the MMA content and for some of the silliness or whatever, but Google ADCCs, Abu Dhabi Combat Championships, and
Combat Club.
then Combat Club, and you'll find out like what that's about, right? That's a massive tournament for the best grapplers in the world. Many regard ADCCs as a whole as the Olympics for submission grapplers, and Beneil Dariush won that. And you could see that Moicano was respecting the power in that left hand from the beginning of the fight, as he should. Beneil Dariush has nukes in there. So I think it was the perfect storm for Beneil Dariush. Moicano was coming off a loss. His stitches, he can't like afford a loss, so he was going to play smart. And Beneil Dariush just out MMA'd him for 3 rounds.
Yeah, he did. That's exactly what he did. Yeah, and he looked good doing it. What do you got, George?
He even had kicks.
Yeah, he had kicks
Man.
that spun Moicano all the way around.
No.
Man, Benal's grappling and ground control edged out Moicano's aggressive striking. Moicano had success early with the leg kicks, but Benil, man, takedowns and top pressure in rounds 2 and 3 swayed the judges. This was a gritty win for Dariush. There were times where you could tell he definitely was getting tested a little bit and knew that I can't turn this into a dogfight striking or I'm going to sleep again. So what did he do? He relied to his strengths, took it to where it needed to go, and got the victory. Again, I'm not mad at it. This is a guy that was trying to finish. This wasn't just float over, lay and pray. God, just get me through to that. That's the thing that I don't like. Like I said, even as a fan who probably leans more towards a casual point of view when it comes to what I enjoy in MMA, can I say I love a knockout? I love a knockout. I love a finish. And I mean, if somebody gets choked out and it's like this, if it's like disgusting, like out of nowhere, or like someone gets like a compound fracture, like it's like, ooh, I get like the Mortal Kombat vibes and it brings me back to my childhood. So I'm sorry, I'm fucked up, but I like that. Definitely though, this was a good fight. I don't know what's next for Benil. He's high up there in the ranking. I mean, but goodness gracious, there's just nothing but murderers up there, man.
Yeah, lightweight's a problem.
Yeah, lightweight's a problem.
And lightweight's about to be, I mean, it just got shaken up even more, right? So who knows what they got planned for Benny. Benny should take some months off too, He got to win back in the win column. Get back in the gym, train some, and not that he needs it, but he keep himself sharp, keep himself moving, and see what the UFC offers. See what's out there. See who fights who, because you know that there's plenty of lightweight bouts booked already. So, all right, moving on. The next bout, flyweight, Joshua full-sized Van defeating Brandon Royval via unanimous decision. Look, I'm not calling him Mini Van no more. All right.
No,
He did.
that.
I will say though, Brandon Royval looked like a fucking giant in there next to him. Holy shit! And he was giving him the business for a while. Man, watching it going into the third, I had it 1-1, and watching the third round, I was like, oh, fuck, man. Joshua Van's losing this fight. And then he drops him in the last minute. And I just screamed, he won! He won the fucking. Obviously, he didn't knock him out. But I knew that stole him the round because it was so close, dude. Even though I had scored it 1-1, it was still such a close fight that I had no clue. Like, judges could have thrown that either way. So also I threw a little $5 bet on that one. One little $5 bet on the side.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. It was a hell of a fight. Fun to watch all around. What do you got on this one, Will?
Dude, everything you just said. Yeah, I was leaning toward Royval, and then it came to my attention like, oh, this is that gym. They created their own gym with Alexander, the great big fucking dork Hernandez, who was in Royval's corner, which lost him the fight. Fuck you, Alexander Hernandez. But no, it was a great fight, dude. I felt like it was 1-1 as well going into the third. George and I were it was pandemonium in the garage, man. And Joshua Van was not, that kid doesn't go anywhere. You can hit him with a fucking brick. That kid's going to stand there, throw 5 more bricks back at you. His anti-grappling.
Oh, we're
awesome.
tossing bricks? Okay.
Yeah, right. His hips to get in and out and get leverage when guys try to get a hold of him. Man, he's on fire right now. And I think it's a testament to just how many fights in a row. Remember when, Kevin Holland went on that run? Joaquin Buckley went on his run. These guys hit their stride. He's 23 years old, so he's healthy. He's young. He's got incredible boxing. I think he's got, next to Ilia Topuria, some of the best boxing in the UFC. I mean, if you don't put Joshua Van in the conversation with some of the best boxers in the UFC, then you're just a hater, because the kid's timing, his rhythm, the ability to slip and rip, he has everything you want as an MMA fan. And guess what, guys? He's carrying power to knock dudes down or knock them out into the third fucking round. If you're fighting guys like Merab, you need that power at all times. He has access to nukes 24/7. Brandon Royval came out fighting behind that jab. He never took a back step either. He came to fight the whole time, and Dana White paid him his show and his win money for his troubles. That was the fight of the night, and for me, for 2025 so far, that's the fight of the year. That was incredible.
It was amazing. And to your point about Joshua Van's boxing, his striking in general, Brandon Royval had 3 inches of reach, and he had like 3 or 4 inches in height as well. I mean, he dwarfed Joshua Van, and Joshua Van made it a very close fight in the numbers on striking. He was getting inside. He was still tearing up uh, Brandon Royval. So, yeah, Joshua Van's striking is incredible. And I think we have a great flyweight bout on our hands after the 2 we just saw. George, what do you got on Van versus Royval?
Man, Royval started this fight with leg kicks and jabs, started strong, man, and he hit Van a couple times. And I looked at Will, and I was like, ooh, he rocked him, and then he like just shrugged it off, and I looked back at Will, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, he's Hawaiian. You have to kill them. They don't get knocked out. So this was the beginning of the end for yet another slip that had unders on that. None of the unders hardly at all cashed on this card. It was wild. Like there was, I don't even know. But after that, whenever Van started really, putting the timing on it and starting to hit them combos, it was like, damn, this kid, it's like he just keeps getting better and better and better. But I mean, Brandon didn't go anywhere. Whenever me and Will saw him nail that straight right down the pipe that snapped Brandon's head back, and when his head came back, his face looked completely different because his nose was gone. And he was just like, nope, I'm going to come back and just throw another punch. Ain't no, like, it was like Randy from, King, South Park. I ain't hear no bell. I was like, this is nuts. This fight gave me chill bumps, and it reminded me of Griffin and Bonner. And like I told Will, I said the fucked up thing about this fight is, and in a good way, is that there's some kids out there that watch this, and this is what's going to make them go into a gym tomorrow. And in 20 years, you're going to see some kids that be like, hey, you guys are the reason I started doing this.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You say Griffin and Bonner. You say Griffin and Bonner. I say it was more like Griffin and the chicken.
Peter Griffin and the fucking chicken. Dude. Oh. And how good are these cameras nowadays? Because you could see the exact second that Joshua Van shattered Brandon's nose. We saw it land, and then they showed it on the replay. I was like, George, that nose is toast. It's fucking toast. It was crazy to watch.
It was a hell of a fight, man. The fans got blessed. The MMA gods said, "Let's toss from this one." I loved every second. Now, we mentioned the flyweight division and everything. Our next bout, our co-main, Alexander Pantoja defeating Kai Kara-France with a rear naked choke in round 3. Kai was doing good, man. He was being defensively sound up until that moment. And Pantoja just shot across and got under the chin. But Kai got back to his feet several times. Kai defended the back several times. He just made one mistake, and that's all it takes, man. When somebody is trying to strangle you or rip your fucking arm off or your leg off or kill you, all it takes is one little mistake. Why you can't fuck up. It's why you gotta practice. It's why you gotta drill. You can't just watch shit and magically be good at it, And I'm not saying Kai did that anyway. I'm saying Kai turned his ass off because he looked good defending that shit up until the moment that Pantoja got the sub. What do you got on it, Will?
Man, I think he did improve exponentially in the grappling. Yes, he did, because in the Ultimate Fighter, when they fought the last time 9 years ago, now 9 years, a lot can happen, and both guys improved a ton. But that's the same way he got strangled in that, and I think it was the second round of that fight. So I think that he trained so much to not get grapple fucked that the only thing on his mind was not getting grapple fucked, and he wasn't thinking about dealing damage to Pantoja. The final takedown there in the third round, Pantoja just kind of ran at him, and Kai backed straight up and kind of accepted the takedown. It's like he wanted to get to defending so bad that he forgot to throw his offense, and I think that happens to a lot of people. I think that happened to Dustin Poirier against Habib, and I think that happened to Dustin Poirier against Charles Oliveira in that fight. So when you have somebody who's so,
I feel like that's like part of like the aura that surrounds these
yes,
really good fighters, man. It fucks with their head, like it fucks with their opponent's head. I mean,
exactly.
think about it. If you're getting ready to face Gordon Ryan in a jiu-jitsu match, that's gonna fuck with your head. If you're getting ready to face
Right.
Khabib in an MMA fight or John Jones in an MMA fight, that's gonna fuck with your head, especially staring across the cage and looking at them. And those motherfuckers are looking
Yes.
through your soul. Pantoja's
Well,
looking through your soul, dog. He wants to eat you alive.
Yeah, that's the cannibal. But that's exactly the point I'm making, dude. Like they're such freaks at this, and Pantoja is such, when the gap is that big, it creates anxiety that was never there before. Like if you fight a guy on a couple weeks notice, and you don't know anything about him, it's almost easier, right? And that guy could be a straight killer. But in that moment, you're thinking about just getting your work off. But when you're fighting a Pantoja, Habib, a Charles Oliveira, and apparently now an Ilia Topuria, we'll get to that in a second. You have to worry about one aspect of that game that you know you will not win at. There's not, okay, this is the closest aspect they have to beating me. No, if you go to the mat with Alexandre Pantoja for long enough, you're going to lose. If you stand in the pocket long enough with Ilia Topuria, you're going to lose. So that the aura thing is real, and that's what we saw here. We saw Kai Kara France kind of be consumed by the moment and not get his offense off.
And I think I agree with that completely, man. Because he rounds 1 and 2, his defensive wrestling looks so good. I mean, his defensive wrestling, his defensive jujitsu looked fantastic, dude. It really did.
Yeah.
And then it did not look the same. It looked like he was just in that. All right, let me defend from him, but not try to get back to my feet. I don't know.
Yep.
But that also could have been Pantoja being Pantoja, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you got, George?
Pantoja, man, defended his title for a record 4th time in dominant fashion. He set the tone early with a body kick and takedown in round 1, controlling Kara France on the ground. I said Kara France's only chance in this fight was if he got it dirty. And I thought that maybe if he could get Pantoja up against the cage, get in the clinch, and get Pantoja to panic and shoot, he can catch him with that patented uppercut. Didn't happen. This is another one that just like set all of basically everything else had already spiraled out of control for us on this card at this point, and now it was just a little bit of history repeating. I felt bad that Car France, like you guys said, never got started at all. Whenever something like this happens, it makes the guy look inept and look highly unskilled, and we all know he isn't. But to a casual, they're like, "Oh, that guy sucks." You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
they don't know. No,
Yeah.
that's just a skill gap is what you're witnessing that you don't understand.
Yeah. You're seeing one of the
Post-fight,
best in the world fighting the best in the world.
yeah. Post-fight, Joshua Van entered the cage for a respectful face-up, setting off their future title clash that I think we'll talk about later. And that was definitely a different tone than what happened at the end of the next fight. So, without further ado, Tan Man.
Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Lightweight bout. Ilya Taporia knocking out Charles Oliveira in round 1. What the fuck? Oh no. Did I lose? I can't hear you guys.
what?
Oh,
Nobody's talking.
okay. No. My headset clicked out for a second, it sounded like. Okay.
Okay.
So this was fucking wild. He knocked him out in under 3 minutes, under 2.5 minutes. He had him leaking a minute in, less than a minute in. Insane. To get the knockout, he set it up beautifully. He jabbed to the body, jabbed to the head, feinted the jab, and then threw a right cross and lights off for Charles. I mean, that one was all it really took. He didn't need the hook. He didn't need the follow-ups. He didn't need any of it. Shut him the fuck off. It was nasty. Also, the grappling wasn't a problem, like I said. He shut that shit down immediately.
Yeah, no.
Charles tried to take him to the ground. He shut down the takedown, ended up on top, passed Charles' guard, no problem. Charles tried to go into leg and single leg X, and then to heel hook. Wasn't happening. Cleared the knee line, got out, got back in, and then started raining some leg kicks on him until he stood up and shut him the fuck off. Holy shit. Ilya is real, guys. He is real. All right.
Yep.
No denying it. We can't deny it any longer. I know he's broken every fucking fan's heart because now he is knocked out Volk, Holloway, Oliveira. Bro, I've seen enough. Give him Tyson. What do you got, Will?
Man, the boxing was. This is what I'm talking about. Like with Pantoja, if you're on the mat long enough with him, you're gonna get subbed or you're gonna get beat into oblivion on your back. If you are in the pocket with Ilya Taporia for long enough, he's gonna shut you off. He's just got dynamite in those hands, and the timing is otherworldly. When he threw that jab to the body, feinted the jab upstairs, and made Charles come into him. Charles thought that he was going to catch Ilya throwing a punch, and in actuality, Ilya caught Charles throwing a punch, and he threw that right hand right over the top of Charles' wrists, right down the pipe. You could not find a more perfect trajectory for a counter straight right. And that, like you said, man, that hook that landed, which was incredible that it landed on a crumbling human being to find their chin like that. That punch was just elementary. Like everything after that straight right, it wasn't warranted. Charles Oliveira was absolutely asleep. It was not a Gregory Rodriguez situation where like dude was like, limp and he had to walk over there 4 steps, bend down and crack him. It's Charles Oliveira. Like, if you drop him, he's been known to go to his back and attack. So Ilya did what he had to do. God, it was crazy to watch. It was heartbreaking. Ilya's a monster. Now we do need to see Islam and Ilya.
Yeah. So this is the crazy part. We were on our way home from the convention when this fight was happening. And we stopped to get food, right? We're in a drive-through. We had paid. And the fight starts after we paid, and it was over before we got our food. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So it wasn't a Chick-fil-A, is what you're saying.
It was McDonald's, dog. It was bad. I know.
Dude, yeah, I was shocked.
Ooh. George,
I was on.
Tell us how this hurt you. Show us on the doll where this hurt you.
Taporia makes history as the 10th UFC fighter to win titles in 2 divisions, obliterating Charles Oliveira with a first-round knockout. El Matador opened with the flurry, cutting Oliveira above the eye. Oliver attempted a takedown and leg lock, but Taporia escaped and landed that devastating right-left combo, dropping the former champ. Follow-up shot sealed the finish, crowning Taporia the new lightweight king. Now, all that being said, I don't care what this guy does. I don't care how good his legacy is. I don't care how many heads he collects. I don't care how many lightsaber hilts he has in his collection. I don't care any of that shit. He's a fucking
General
scumbag, piece of
Grievous.
shit, and I fucking hate him. He is everything that embodies what I hate in a UFC fight because he is in his own ass. That dude believes his own fucking hype. And he's a cornball. He's like Brian Fantana on fucking Anchorman. Sex Panther, 50% of the time it works every time. Like, fuck this guy. Please, somebody put him the fuck out of
500.
pasture. Now, that being said, I can't hate on his skills. Excellent striker. I mean, it's exciting. If he was more humble, if he had the swag of Charles Oliveira and was sleeping people, my God, that's what you would want. He'd be like the next Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao for years, loved. Mirko Krokop, years loved. You know what I'm saying? He has that potential to have that. Like, why you got to be such a jackass too? Anyways, after this
I think
fight,
I know why.
interestingly enough, he calls out Paddy Pimblett and gets him inside the cage and acts like a little bitch and shoves him, then turns around and laughs while he's hugging his 2 title belts. You know, fuck this guy.
Launched him.
Get
Launched him with that shove, dog.
Get
Also, look, you have to have a certain level of cockiness if you're the best in the world at anything. All right. You ever seen Magnus Carlsen play chess? Okay. That's
I watched
chess.
him lose and it was satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. So look at Gordon Ryan, look at John Jones. Okay. If you're the best at something, if you're the best, especially I guess when it comes to combat sports, if you're the best, you have to be a douchebag.
Well,
I
just say
think
Tom
it's like
Brady,
No,
Michael
I
Jordan.
don't think
I
you
said
do.
combat sports. I said combat sports.
Well, I know,
Look,
but it's an alpha male thing.
minus
Like Tom
mine's
Brady,
gonna be
right?
yeah.
Like some of those dudes, like Michael Jordan. Not everybody said he was the nicest guy. You know?
Was
Yeah.
DC like that? Was GSP like that? Was Anderson Silva like that? No,
Look,
take that mentality and shove it.
okay.
You don't have a
You
leg
have,
to
no,
stand
no.
on, sir.
You have 2 anomalies there, and you're gonna think this is a weird take from me, but DC's not in my GOAT list.
Okay, regardless.
All right. George and Khabib are, and they are the weirdest anomalies ever. Because if you look at any other, big time
DJ.
Muay Thai champion, DJ, yeah, DJ's an anomaly too. Yeah, I'll give you that one. All right, that's 3 out of how many countless champions? I'll give you
That's
one
fair.
more. Bobby Knuckles.
Yeah, Bobby Knuckles was cool.
Yeah, he's very
Frankie
modest.
Edgar.
Frankie Edgar believed the hype at one point. He was pretty cocky at one point. But anyways, none of that matters. What matters is that Ilya is saying he's going to do things and he's doing them. And he's doing them exactly how he said it. It's very reminiscent of another person we saw. But Ilya's difference is Ilya is an ADCC champion in Asia. Like Will mentioned earlier, he's a fucking monster on ground and he has beautiful jujitsu. All right. So he has that backing up his amazing striking. All right. So this guy's going to be here for a while. I would love to see Islam come back down and try to fight Ilya. All right. I know. Because we all think it. We all think Islam could be the one to hold him down. But I'm not so sure. I want to mention one. Yeah.
I don't like that guy either, but come on, somebody go kick this guy's ass.
I don't think Armin stands a chance. And as far as Paddy, I think he sleeps Paddy Pimblett Patty's not gonna take him down. He's not gonna. Patty's jiu-jitsu is not as good as Charles.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about next. I actually have a little thing about a preview of Pantoja and Van, and then a preview of Ilya and Patty if it happens. And I want to get your
Okay.
guys' takes on it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. After that, I want to talk about one thing, and then that's all I got for tonight. But
Okay.
yeah.
let's do that preview.
All right. I say Pantoja, the reigning champ, is relentless grappler with an iron chin and a knack for imposing his will. He has 2.5 takedowns per 15 minutes, an elite submission game, and it makes him a nightmare on the mat. Pantoja's striking has also evolved, as seen in his leg kicks and body shots against Kai Kara. At 35, he's in his prime and he's riding an 8-fight winning streak. Joshua Van, on the other hand, is a white-hot rising star with crisp boxing and fearless pressure. His unanimous decision win over Royval showcased his ability to outstrike a high-level opponent in a stand-up war. Van's defensive wrestling held up against Royval, but Pantoja's grappling is on another level. Van's youth and hunger could make him dangerous, especially if he were able to keep this fight standing. This to me is another grappler versus striker. What do you guys got?
I think it's too early. Don't do that to Joshua Van. I think if Joshua Van fights Pantoja in the next year and a half, he's going to drown. It's that simple. I think Van needs 2 years minimum to be prepared for Pantoja, and I think even like his best way to go about getting a fight with Pantoja and winning a fight with Pantoja, I think would be to get 2, 3 more fights under his belt over the next 2 years, and then look for a fight with Pantoja. Yeah, he's climbing the rankings really quick, but he's really lacking when it comes to that grappling department where Pantoja is so strong, and he's lacking in that middle ground too, right? And that's where he's going to get tripped up. That's where he's going to lose. And we know the moment he gets to the ground, he's going to drown, right? He's not lasting as long as Kai Kara did on the ground. He's not getting back up. He maybe once, but I think he's got a lot of work to do in the grappling department before he should face Pantoja. That's my take on it.
The only problem that we have in the situation is Pantoja has fought Kai Car France twice now. He's fought Manel Kopp. He's fought Brandon Royval. He's fought Brandon Moreno 4 times. So it's kind of the only move to make is to let Joshua Van fight him. He's riding that win streak. And Pantoja is essentially lapping the division now. So the only thing that would make sense to me, if you're not going to let Van fight for the title, and it looks like they are, and for my money, what else are we going to do, guys? We brought a guy from Japan over. He got eaten alive by Pantoja. Our best guys have fought him multiple times. I think that you got to have Pantoja fight Van. Then you have to have Kai Kara France fight Manel Kopp. We need Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno too, just so that division can kind of work out a little bit there. And somehow we need to get Kopp and Pantoja together. And then I feel like Pantoja has done at 25, and the only thing he'd ever have left to do is to go up and try to be a champ at 35 because he's beaten everyone else in the weight class. As far as the fight with Van goes, I'm kind of with Tanner. It's too early. I would like to have seen Joshua Van fight a Brandon Moreno or a Manel Kopp before getting in there with Pantoja. I think Pantoja wins.
Don't do that to my boy. All right.
Man. Uh, Pantoja's grappling, man, and versatility, I think, make him the odds-on favorite, obviously, in this. And given Van a lot of love as a fan of him, I'd say that Pantoja's probably going to get a sub in 3 or 4, but realistically could even be sooner. Um, it does have fight of the night written all over it. I mean, you can't ever count out a
Oh, yeah.
striker in a match.
No, I don't
Then,
think you're going to have. I don't think Van's going to have writer's block either. I think Van isn't going to get right to his weapons right away, whereas Kai didn't. Kai already
Marty would.
felt Pantoja once, so he was worried about it immediately. And I think Van's going to come out there and be like, "Fuck it, bro! I came this far just letting these dogs eat." So it will be super fun.
Yeah, I agree. All right, set the stage for the next one, George.
all right, man. You got the obviously the reigning, defending doucher Tapourier, and you got Patty. The bad blood between these guys was sparked by the hand sanitizer bottle at UFC 282. This is such fucking high school shit. And this altercation got reignited by this 317 scuffle. This promises to be an electric title fight if Dana lets it happen. Honestly, I think if Dana lets this fight happen, he's fumbling the bag because it eliminates Patty right off the bat as a serious, right now he's got hype behind him. He hasn't been derailed by someone like this. But if Poirier sleeps this dude like in the first round, that's irreparable damage to him. He's never going to be in the position he's in right now. Poirier is the complete fighter with explosive striking, elite wrestling, and black belt credentials. His first round KO of Charles proves that his power carries over into this next weight class. His confidence is sky high, and his ability to finish legends like Volk, Holloway, and Oliveira make him a generational talent. His fight IQ and precision are unmatched. Paddy the Baddy, on the other hand, is charismatic as hell, and if he has one end to this fight, I would say it's how much in Ilya's head he is. Ilya doesn't do that to everybody. You know what I mean? For him to act like that in front of his family too, he really hates this guy. And I don't know. That's head games, they do something. Patty does have slick submissions, man, and deceptive striking. His grappling is particularly well with his guillotine and triangle chokes. However, he has shown resilience, but his defensive striking basically is him absorbing a lot of damage and kind of take one to give one, and that is not what you do with Ilya. And his precision, I think, is a nightmare for Patty's stand up. I don't think he's ever faced anyone his caliber either. He got in his face and said, you're not going to knock me out. Just like he said before, I'm a scouser. We don't get knocked out. Yeah, you get knocked out if this dude touches you.
Fair and
Um,
tell.
so what do you guys got?
I mean, it's same exact thing as what we just talked about with the last one. I feel um, you're throwing Patty to as scrap meat for a wolf. You know, um, this is just a fight that Dana is absolutely going to make because it makes sense. This is going to sell tickets. Patty's a big draw. Ilya's a big draw, and you know that either way it goes, it's building lore and legend on an already well-known, well-loved fighter, right? Uh, we may not love Ilya, but a lot of people out there do, right? So I think Uncle Dana's doing this. He's dumb if he doesn't, right? This is going to sell out whatever arena it's in, all right? And it's not going to be a long night for Dana, you know? It's only going to be as long as he lets the production team make it, you know? So uh, I think Ilya sleeps Paddy Pimblich. This easy money, you know? Uh, I think Paddy can't get his striking to par and his grappling to par. I think Ilya just outclasses him in every aspect of it. So what do you got, Will?
I think that Dana White was coined after the fight saying, "I don't know who let Patty in there, but if I would have never let that happen." That tells me that there's already somebody next. And that it may not be there. I'm thinking Armin. I'm thinking we do Armin and Topuria, and we do Gaethje and Patty. And
It's whatever
that's just the
Tory
way I
wants at
feel
this
like.
point.
Right. And it's going to be probably Patty. Now, as far as Patty in that fight, if he doesn't get a position, if he doesn't take Toporia's back quickly, I don't think his chin's going to stand up to what Topuria brings. I'm a huge Patty fan, but I'm in no illusion that his striking's better than Ilya. From a coach's standpoint, it's actually the worst nightmare that Patty could get in the octagon, because the stance he has is that very karate stance with his chin straight in the air, and Topuria has that very compact boxer style. Actually, I'm not Ilya Topuria and Tanner is not Patty Pimblett, but this is actually a really good comparison here. Tanner is like a Taekwondo long-rangey striker. I'm a boxer, right? If Tanner keeps me at the end of his toe and the end of his jab, I cannot touch him, and it makes for a long round. So I have to use my boxing shell and find in. Now, the caveat to that is when I get in there, I have to fucking do damage. I can't do all that work and get in and just touch him with a jab. That'll all be wasted. So once I get in there, I have to crack him. That's exactly what Ilya Topuria has to do for Patty. But Patty, I don't think Patty can knock out Ilya if it turns into a kickboxing fight and the ground nullifies itself. I think that you have a guy with a stick and a guy with a shotgun in terms of power, right? You got Ilya with a shotgun, and you got Patty with a kendo stick, just going to try to touch him up a bunch of times, and Ilya just needs one shot. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be super competitive, honestly. If Patty could get Ilya out of there, especially via finish, it would have to be some kind of knee. Or some kind of straight kick, some kind of front kick. I think shooting on Ilya is really stupid. So yeah, man, I love Patty. It's well documented. I'm a Patty fanboy, have been for a long time. Like Tanner said, I think it's too soon. Just like Joshua Van, it's too soon. I think we should get even Gaethje Topuria, and let's get Patty against Armin. If Patty can beat up Armin, then I would have more confidence. But it's just the nuclear option that the fucking Ilya Topuria has in his hands it's just like Alex Pereira, the nuclear option. I'm not going to bet against that. Topuria's boxing's world class. I'm taking Topuria in that fight.
Topuria will likely dictate the pace if this fight happens with his striking, and I think he'll look to land bombs early. I think Pimblett's path to victory lies in dragging the fight to the ground, where his submission game could threaten. But Topuria's takedown defense and scrambling ability make that extremely tall order. The bad blood adds an X factor, though. Pimblett's trash talk might provoke Topuria into a brawl, but Topuria's composure under pressure suggests he'll stick to his game plan. Like we talked about, Dana did not seem like he was very thrilled about their impromptu face-off. The buzz around this fight is undeniable. Poirier's superior striking and well-rounded skill set give him the edge, and I think he likely catches Patty with a clean shot and ends this in a TKO in round 2. If Pimblett can survive early and turn this into a grappling match, he has a slim chance at a sub-upset, but Poirier's dominance makes that unlikely. This fight could sell out an arena if Poirier gets his wish for a Madrid homecoming. That place would fucking erupt. Patty might get, walk through the streets naked, saying "shame, shame," like Game
Shame.
of Thrones there. Again though, the only thing that I have yet to see somebody do to Ilya, and we were calling for it all frickin' night, is his stance. Whenever he's in that open stance and he's shelling up and he's trying to throw combos, that boy's head is wide open. And if you get a rangy striker, I think Patty could head kick him. I think it could happen. Is it going to happen? Probably.
That's my only path to victory for him.
But yeah, I think it would have to be kind of like a Jai Herbert situation.
That's my only path to victory for Patty, I think.
Yep. The problem with that is the Jai Herbert may have a glass chin and he's had really rough road in the UFC, but his striking, if you were learning how to strike from Jai Herbert, you would be in really good hands because his footwork's phenomenal, his setups are phenomenal, and he's clean and smooth with it. Patty's not that smooth. That's why I'm thinking it would only be a knee one of those clunking knees when Ilya's crashing into him. Right. Like I don't think Patty's got the talent to get him or the dynamic ability to land that shin on his head. I mean, Max Holloway, not the best kicker in the world, but has become a very good kicker. He was throwing spamming kicks on Ilya, set up really well, and he never touched Ilya's head one time. So if he couldn't get it done, I don't see Patty kicking him. I could see a knee or an uppercut or an elbow, maybe something like that, but definitely nothing at range.
We will see, I'm sure. I think Uncle Dan is going to make that fight happen. I want to talk about something else that happened on Saturday. If you guys are done with the UFC.
Yeah.
Cool with that? Yeah. George?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, fucking Jake Paul beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a boxing match unanimously. I mean,
Rigged.
the problem with this is he's now beat a former champ. Was legit former champ. Who on paper, if you look at Julio Cesar Chavez, his record on paper, I think Paul just handed him his 6th or 7th loss. So,
Yeah. Cocaine
this is
gave
one
him
of
most
those.
of those losses, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And the lack of willingness to train properly.
Yep.
His dad holds nothing back when he talks about his son and his boxing half the time, which is great because you need somebody to keep you accountable like that. But I think that this is a big springboard for Paul in boxing. I think this is the biggest win he's had, hands down. You can't really deny that. Even though it shouldn't count. It really shouldn't. You fought a smaller, coked up former fighter who's been retired, and every time he's come out of retirement, he fought an MMA fighter and lost in boxing. What an accomplishment, right?
I don't know how anybody else doesn't see what's happening, that this dude's path to victory is finding people that are washed up and down on their luck and offering them
Here's the
huge
thing.
paydays to take a dive.
He's gonna get to a title shot off this. That's what I'm trying to get to. He is close, man. He if he can't get it from this, he's one fight away. The the boxing champs have to pay attention at this point. He's doing stuff. He's beating their top guys in their sport now. So I hate it, but it is what it is. Just wanted to get that out there for some combat sports news. I don't really have anything else. Do you guys have anything you want to?
I have two things. Well, three things. One is touching on the Jake Paul thing. I'm not a Jake Paul fan. I think the guy's a nerd. Whatever he's doing, I don't watch. But one thing I did catch after Saturday night that actually made me gain a lot of respect for him, and it tastes bad in my mouth saying this, but
Oh yeah,
if he does this, then he will have gained a fan in me 100%. And that is, he was talking about the Ben Askren situation and how Ben Askren's insurance dropped him over the cost of his lung transplant, and how he and his foundation are going to donate the money to cover the surgery so Ben Askren can have his surgery. And if that's factual and not a troll, which I don't think even Jake Paul, being a low life in many aspects, would say that publicly and not try to stand by it, which, that'd be fucked up to do. I don't think he's going to do that. So if Jake Paul steps to the plate and donates the $500,000+ for Ben Askren to get his lungs transplanted, dude, I'll start buying Jake Paul fucking pay-per-views, and I won't be cheering for him or whatever. But if that money's going to start going to guys like Ben Askren, who do nothing but serve the community of the martial arts world with his heart completely full, if he's going to do that for a guy like that, then I'll pay for his shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Darian Pageant Saturday night fought at RUF 63. He came up short, but we're so proud of Darian for now. He's got a 3-1 record in professional mixed martial arts. He's an Indiana boy. We're proud of you, man. Thanks for repping us down there. And Fuji Saturday, Fuji Jiu-Jitsu. Sarah Swanlin, white belt under Coach Mo. She's always been a jiu-jitsu girl under Coach Mo. She got all of her stripes, all of her tournaments, everything have come under Rhinos and Coach Mo. She got 5 matches, 3 in the gi, 3 submissions, 2 no gi, 2 submissions. All she got the takedown and a key lock in every single one of them. She was awarded her blue belt on the podium. I can get emotional right now talking about her and the aspect of she's 125 pounds. She shows up at 4 o'clock at the gym every day, goes through the boxing drills, stays to spar boxing, stays to do jiu-jitsu, and many Sundays that we had an open mat that Sarah was the only fucking athlete that would show up to roll with me, 6'2", 215 pounds, and she never wavers in her consistent pursuit to be an excellent martial artist, and I'm just so proud of her, man. And Coach Mo just continues to make murderers, dude. So congratulations to Sarah. Congratulations to Coach Mo. Coach Mo actually got to be there and be her corner for all those matches. So for the chef to be there when his product's being made, dude, that's what's up. So congratulations to those guys. I just wanted to get that out there.
Congrats, Sarah. All right. Anything else?
I'm good.
George? Sounds like he's good.
Well, you know what? We're going to play some Fortnite. Any of you nerds that follow us on here and you want to get that smoke, send us a friend request. Let's see what's up. Thanks for joining us. We love you guys.
I don't want that smoke.
See you guys.